What up, everyone? Bales here from TBE coming at you today. We've had a lot of news about Kentucky basketball. Main piece of news, Oscar Tshiebwe returning. Very excited about that, but my excitement is limited at this point, and I'm gonna save Oscar as a subject for the future. I'll do a whole video on just Oscar. Today, I wanted to focus on the second information that came out this week, and that is Shaedon Sharpe announcing that he will be declaring for the NBA draft. We'll go ahead and get this pulled up here. Thank you from Mrs. Tyler Thompson from KSR here for this article. So in case you didn't know, just a quick backstory, Shaedon Sharpe was the #1 recruit in this upcoming class for college basketball, committed to Kentucky in the fall. Let's just I'm not gonna dive too deep into this timeline, but I wanna use this to kind of show you some of the main points of what happened throughout this past year. So received the offer in 2020. Kid is the 42nd player in the class at that point, ultimately skyrockets up and becomes the #1 player in the class. All of the buzz around this kid is that he's a big guard / wing. He can get to the rim and score, shoots very high percentage from the outside, and he can elevate and just cram on people. Watched a lot of his highlights. Heck of a basketball player. Deserves the #1 ranking for next year. His mentor here, dude, this whole situation is ridiculous. So this past season, he ends up enrolling early in school because there was a lot of clouds around whether or not he would be eligible for the NBA draft. I'm no expert in exactly what the qualifications are for the draft, but you'll be able to kind of piece some of that together here as we look forward. So as of October 25th, 21, his mentor, he will not be going to the NBA draft. That's not even something to talk about. That's like saying, are you going to Mars tomorrow? So you can see his mentor here. And what was this guy's name? He said at the very top, Dwayne Washington. This guy's a character, and he played John Calipari hard. I can't tell if he played Coach Cal or if Cal is kind of in on it the whole time. Love to hear what you guys think. But as of last October, no chance he's going to the NBA. And I think at that point, they were thinking he would not be ruled eligible based on the duration it had been since he had graduated high school. It's really weird the way the rules work, and they need to change those, but got to work with what you got, right? So November 9th announces early enrollment. I will 100% play at Kentucky next season. And this to me with the changing landscape in college athletics, especially in basketball with what they've done in the transfer portal, I think we see a lot of kids trying to develop their brands by associating themselves with these huge fan bases. And I think a lot of people are transferring so they can get more exposure to different fan bases and thus build their potential as influencers and ability to make money outside of just the court. The whole situation rubs me the wrong way. I feel like we were played from the start on this. So 100% he's saying he's going to play at Kentucky this season. At this point, they were still saying he's not going to be eligible for the draft since he did not graduate high school prior to the NBA season starting. November 10th, signs with Kentucky. Before he arrives on campus, between his announcement that he's coming and when he arrives, this Porsche commercial released, which I thought was interesting, but let's go ahead and just take a look at this real quick.
Playing from desktop 7 FISPO.
Reliable red.
Wearing red after you just committed to Kentucky. Give me a break.
There is no substitute.
Bluegrass Motorsport with the Porsche sponsorship for the young man. So not the greatest look for Bluegrass Motorsport after seeing how all of this shakes out. So anyway, moving along here. Cal at this point is saying no talk of playing Sharpe in the 2021-22 season. So like I was saying, by this point, we were starting to hit our stride. Really just great balance on our team. A veteran at the point guard position, not a great shooter, but our 2 guard was the fab freshman that was kind of fulfilling the role that Shaedon Sharpe would have played. Not comparing Ty's game to Shaedon's, just that that's where he would have plugged in our lineup last year, or at the 3, you know, move Grady out or something like that, depending on his playing well. But anyway, he gets to campus, he starts working out with the team. So at this point, there's hype building, and as UK fans, all signs are pointing to he's going to be playing for us this year. And this is what really started the powder keg here, was Coach Cal's own comments. He could have really helped this situation by not doing this specific step here. So Shaedon had been practicing with the team for, you know, about 2 weeks at this point, participates in the warm-ups prior to the Vanderbilt game, and a clip of him dunking goes viral, right? And then Cal just puts his foot in his mouth here. Come early, come early. All right, here's what I'm going to tell you. You get in early, you'll be able to see Shaedon work out. So if you want to be the first to see Shaedon work out, he'll be on there doing pregame, and you'll get to see him and say, you'll be the first one to tell everybody, I saw him. But you got to get there early. He'll be out there 90 minutes prior to tip-off. So here's Cal intentionally building the hype. So everybody's getting excited. Oh my gosh, we're having a really good season. Are we about to add the #1 player in the country to what is already a good team? Awesome. Heck yeah, let's go. And as Cal says, if he's ready, I say, let's go. So here's a quote from Coach at that time. I don't know, if he's not ready to play, I wouldn't put him out there. I would say, come on, this kid just came here. How do you make us, you know? You can't do that to the kid unless he's ready. If he's ready, I say, let's go. But he practiced yesterday. He's going to practice today. We're doing some stuff with him. Classic vintage Cal, double speak out of both sides of his mouth. Let me say this to our fans. Get there early so we don't have all the complaints. And we'll make sure Shaedon is on the court working out. And you can say, I saw Shaedon. It'll be like that book, Where's Waldo? You could say, where's Shaedon? I saw him. He was on the court. I was down there watching him warm up. A week later, reports start coming in that he is going to be eligible for the draft. To kind of counter those reports, the next day, Cal comes out. He plans on being here next year. And this is the line we've been fed the whole time, was that he didn't plan on playing this past year. The plan the whole time was for him to play the 22-23 season. Sit the bench, work out with the team, practice with the team. This past year, build that camaraderie with some of the guys, get his body ready for the next level, and then be the guy for the next year's team. This is not news to us. We knew about this before he came to school. This is not news to anybody in the NBA. People just found out. The NBA people already knew. I didn't even tell Calipari. Calipari was like, do you think you could do it? I said, honestly, it doesn't matter because he's not going. Okay, if you say so. Everything I've said has happened. It's pretty idiotic. Everybody knew that this was the option, but we're not taking it. He lost millions coming to school. How did he lose millions coming to school? He wouldn't have been able to play anyway, or go to the league, I should say. And he opened himself up for the opportunity for NIL deals with the biggest college basketball fan base in the country. So this sentence is ridiculous. He came to get better. You come to get ready if you want to go to the NBA, which is one of the goals. You have to be ready. People don't respect Calipari's ability to develop enough. That's why Shaedon's here. He's not there to sit on the bench and wave at fans. He's coming back next year. If he doesn't play this year, he's coming back next year. So now here's Cal starting to gas us up even more just a couple of days later, saying Sharpe stepped on the gas at practice. So this is at the point of the season where both of our starting guards, Ty and Severe Wheeler, had gotten injured. Severe had gotten destroyed on a couple of screen and rolls, had a neck injury. I thought it might be whiplash or something like a concussion. And then Ty injures his ankle, never the same again throughout the year. So you have those factors along with Cal and all of this momentum behind the scenes saying, yay, stepping on the gas. Just show up early. You'll be able to say you watched this kid warm up. So the tension is building at this point. And I thought for sure we were about to see him around this time. 3 weeks into, almost 4 weeks into practicing with the team at this point, you can't tell me he's not in shape and ready to go. So Shaedon, if I thought he was ready to go in at Auburn, I would have put him in, but he's not ready yet. He's the greatest kid. The last couple of days, he stepped on the gas a little bit and done some things. I think our team would like me to put him in. So at this point, how does that impact the morale and the chemistry with the current team? You're talking about a team that's peaking, that has put a hurting on Kansas at Kansas, mopped the floor with North Carolina. And now we're bringing in someone behind the scenes that's just like, oh, shoot, man, if I have a bad game, am I about to get ripped out and this new recruit come in and just take my spot? So you can see how that might be a little bit of unsettling for the guards on our roster. And our chemistry started to fade a little bit after this, and we ended the season very poorly. I think this was one of the factors, was a distraction like this behind the scenes. And at this point, you can kind of tell that this guy is just absolutely full of it. He's trying to tell the fan base anything he can to get them off of his back, whatever they want to hear. Finally, we get the announcement from Cal that Sharpe's not going to play in the 2021-22 season. After talking with Shaedon and his parents, we want to end all of the speculation by again saying that he will not play for us this season. Again saying? I thought you had just said that he was going to if he was ready. Anyway, he's committed to bettering himself and our team in practice this year and being better prepared to lead us next season. I don't think anybody in Kentucky actually at this point would believe that he was going to play for us for the next season. And the writing was on the wall at this point. There was no better time to insert him into the lineup than when both of our starting guards went down. And then this comes out. From that point forward, he didn't end up playing. Let's see. It is what it is. I know everybody will say, well, he isn't coming. Yeah, well, anybody can say that. This kid comes back, he's the number 1 draft pick. In my mind, he's the number 1 draft pick. How can I say that I know what the number 1 draft pick looks like? Because if I've had 4, that's why I can say what it looks like. Dude, Cal pisses me off, dude. Oh my gosh. This is players first right here. So when Cal first got here and was preaching the players first, we were all on board because we thought that just meant we were going to get the best recruits around. We didn't really know that it meant the university would end up taking a back seat to the players. And at this point, to me, what it seemed like is they didn't want Sharpe to come in at this point for fear that it would risk hurting his draft stock. Why? If you're already projected to be a top 10 pick, possibly the number, top 5 up to number 1, especially after the past couple of seasons at Kentucky where like BJ Boston killed his draft stock by playing. Terrence Clark, RIP, did not improve his draft stock when he was on the floor at Kentucky. So it seemed like a business decision to protect the kid's future and really just say, who cares about the university? Players first, gotta love it. At one point, he and I sat down and talked about it. But I think that was what was best for him, is how we did it. Best for him? Yeah, for sure. Of course it was what was best for him. Would he have been a good player this year? Yeah, he'd been pretty good. Fucking Cal. He'd have been pretty good. But he joined us mid-season. Trying to get him up to all the stuff we were doing was hard. Then it came to a point late. Maybe we could have had him in there. We just, together chose, let's just wait. It's better for you not to risk hurting your draft stock by potentially helping us win a national championship this year. But we're players first. Fuck the university. Boom, yesterday. So this is really interesting to me. So we get an announcement from Shams saying that Sharpe is entering the draft and he's going to stay in, foregoing his eligibility. And this was strategically coordinated the day after Oscar Tshiebwe announced that he was going to stay. I personally think that was to soften the blow. No hate on Oscar. Oscar was on the team last year. We lost in the first round. I'm sorry. College basketball is not a big man game anymore. You need guard play to be able to win the national title. If your guards can't shoot or score or get their own buckets, it's going to come back to bite you eventually. I'm sorry. Oscar played great last year. He played great in the game we lost. And guess what? We still lost to a 15 seed. So, Oscar announces he's returning. The next morning, we get this announcement that Sharpe is foregoing eligibility and signing with an agent. That afternoon, we get an announcement from Shaedon directly. I've decided to enter my name in the draft while maintaining my college eligibility. So to me, I read that hours later after the initial announcement that that was pure damage control. I mean, to me, it was a pretty obvious, like they had a huge backlash after the initial announcement and then saying, yeah, he's going to forego his eligibility. So they had to kind of do something to play damage control. And you know, they were getting the vitriol from BBN. I mean, I can only imagine what kind of stuff was going towards that kid. And I mean, I can't blame him personally. Like on a personal level, you cannot blame the kid for wanting to go pro. Like, but at the same time, like the way it was handled is the issue, and the way it put the university in a bad spot for next year, that's the issue. Because at this, up to this point, we've been recruiting a lot of guys, but they don't, like, if this Shaedon Sharpe kid's going to be there, I'm not going to see any PT. So there's so many dominoes waiting to fall based on Sharpe's decision. So in a sense, it's good that he did this so early in the process. But now him trying to say he's going to try to maintain his eligibility, that's BS, dude. Just freaking make a decision and stick to it. Like, get the hell out of here. There's no ill will between Shaedon, family, Cal, and UK. Maybe with the administration, but with the fans at UK, I can guarantee you there is ill will. And it's not, I'm not mad at the kid. I'm mad at John Calipari for this. The fans are turning on Coach Cal hard. So hard. Adding to the confusion of this whole scenario is the fact that his eligibility and when he graduated from high school is still a question. So initially they were saying he graduated in the fall of last year because he was, and also he was still playing for his high school team at that point. But now the story has changed to say that he graduated in May of last year, but still was playing for his high school team in the fall for some reason. It makes absolutely no sense. There's a ton of great memes on the internet if you want to check those out regarding this situation. None of it makes sense. They really need to fix this with college basketball. But I mean, overall, I feel like John Calipari got punked in this situation. I can't tell if they played him or if he was in on it. It feels like he was on their side. And I mean, like I said, he's players first, university second. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was helping them make these decisions behind the scenes. He's seen the way it's gone down with players in the past and how playing them in a half season like that can hurt their draft stock. Jared Vanderbilt, another example there. Just absolutely frustrated with Coach Cal, but I needed to talk about this a little bit, get it off my chest. And now we can put this to bed. I don't want to hear any more rumors about he possibly could be here next year. Let's just call it quits with that and get moving forward on the recruiting trail to try to fill that void. Because there's some really good players out there, some really good transfer players that we could possibly get to, you know, fill that wing shooter scorer role. So we'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching. Give us a like, subscribe to the channel on YouTube. We're trying to grow our YouTube channel out. Let me know what you think. Do you think Cal was in on this? Do you think Cal got played and he didn't see this coming? Do you think he could have done more? Give us your thoughts.